So this next one, full disclosure, I've known David, I don't know how long you've been here, David, a long time, but we've worked together in various ways for a very long time. He's a senior in our telecommunications industry because he's been around so long, and honestly, one of the greatest customer experience leaders that I've had the pleasure of working with for more than 25 years here at the company, across Sprint, T-Mobile, and AT&T before that. Today, he leads a service assurance team that supports our enterprise and our government customers through really mission-critical operations that they have in running their businesses. And he's known for his calm leadership, and I can totally attest to that. He's an incredible operator in this company. And the way he shows up for our customers, the way you show up for our team is something that really sets you apart, especially in these really high-pressure moments. You know, you just say, you need a calm in the room, and I have to tell you that that is David. He holds an advanced and undergraduate degrees in computer science, so he's kind of a smart guy. But what really stands out for me about David is his servant leadership. He is one of the best leaders we have in this company. His deep commitment to people, to the team, to our community, and for things like this, for making connections. He's deeply involved in charitable work throughout Atlanta. He serves in multiple leadership roles within his church. He's a life member of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. I don't know how he does all these things and shows up every day. And on top of that, he enjoys music, he enjoys playing golf, and spending time with his family and friends. So let's put it together for David. All right, you got this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. My name is David Norman Richardson. Wow, that feels so good to say. Not because I don't know my name, but I know the backstory. So let me explain. I remember being the youngest of 5 growing up in Huntsville, Alabama. I had 2 older brothers, a mother and a father. And we did everything together. You see, dinner time was something special in our house. That's the time we got together around a table, just like that one you see there, talking about everything, talking about sports, talking about the latest news, talking about politics, talking about school drama, and yes, with a suit like that, there must have been some school drama. I would sit at that table, though, looking and watching my family talk with such pride about what they were talking about and just such confidence. I, too, wanted to be a part of that. I eagerly wanted that so badly for myself. However, when I started to talk, the words sometimes got jumbled together. They'd trip over each other. Now, having 2 older brothers, like some of you may have, you understand that there's always an opportunity for a tease, right? And they tease me about that sometimes. But in order to get to the front of it, to sometimes beat them to their punch, I would try to rush. And the faster that I talk, the more that I stumble. The more that I stumbled and the more that I rushed, I then started something crazy called the stuttering thing that I used to do. You see, that became my reality. That became my frustration. That became my anxiety. So instead of leaning into conversations like I used to do, I decided to pull back. I didn't want to be embarrassed. Let me tell you, it messed up my cool game. I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I pulled back. There were certain words that triggered me to stutter, so I avoided those words at all costs. If I had to speak at a group like this, just like this, I'd be off to the side, probably getting sick, not able to talk, but not wanting to be there. Let me tell you something, though. My mother saw the desire in me to say something and to speak, and that I had something to say. Let me pause right here and say something real quick. To all the mothers, thank you for being present, seeing beyond the silence sometimes. What does a good mother do? She found me resources. This lady right here found me resources, found me a speech pathologist at Alabama A&M University back in Huntsville, Alabama, that worked with me, that invested in me, and that taught me how to slow down my cadence so that the words that I speak could be heard and understood and sort of felt the way that I wanted them to. You see, she changed the trajectory of my life. She gave me confidence. She gave me the tools to be able to speak. You see, the first bridge of connection was built for me by my mother. She taught me that when you see somebody that you can help, it's important that you do that, right? Because guess what? The bridge that you build for that person just may be the thing that changes their life. Fast forward to a place called Morehouse College, the only all-male HBCU in the country. What my mother started in Huntsville, Mother Morehouse, that we call her, continued in Atlanta. You see, I was surrounded by young men that looked just like me, that wanted to be leaders that had a purpose and a passion and wanted to do something real and do something meaningful. You see, Morehouse, it challenged me. It encouraged me. It motivated me to see things that I had never seen in my entire life from Huntsville, Alabama, right? I began to find my voice, something that I needed. Not because it was easy, no, not at all, not at all. But because I was in a community that did not allow me to stay small. There's a quote by Nelson Mandela, and it goes a little bit like this, and I think it sums it up oh so well. There is no glory found in playing oneself to be small, in settling for a life that's less than what you are capable of living, right? That's the way that it happened for me. And sometimes you have to borrow belief from others, and sometimes put it on the inside of your pocket and allow that thing to grow so that you can have it yourself going forward. Morehouse didn't just educate me, it called something out of me. Let me just say this, life has a way of doing things to you. As you see on that screen there, Chris, Ed, and myself, I'm the tallest, youngest but the tallest, right? And the wedding day, Chris's wedding day. Life has a way of doing these things to you when you're not ready for it, but you got to stand up. And it was just my turn. I was in line, ready to go. I'll never forget that day. It was a Friday, December 5th. We were at the house. We received a phone call from my sister-in-law. They were out to dinner that night. They were going to the hospital. We were told that we needed to make it there as well. Let me just tell you something. That was the longest, that was the quietest drive ever in my life. Praying the entire time, just praying that it was something that we could somehow manage and be able to deal with. Maybe food poisoning, allergic reaction, something we could deal with. My oldest brother, Chris, had just wrapped up a military stint in the Army as a doctor and also an officer. Had just started a medical practice back in Atlanta. Had just gotten married to the love of his life. Suffered a cardiac arrest. We lost him. That same night, that very night, we lost him. And our family broke. It took us deep. I didn't know what to do. It took me deep because the guy that led me to Morehouse, the guy that showed me so many of the things that I do right now, I'm nothing but a reflection of Chris right now. I'm telling you. If you could meet him, you'd see Chris in me right now. That's the reflection that was there. I found myself back in a place that I hadn't been in for years, struggling to speak. Not because I physically couldn't speak. Let me just tell you, I could always talk. But because I didn't want to talk. I didn't know what to say. I didn't think anybody would understand the pain that I was going through. It's like a fingerprint. Nobody knows what I was going through, and I didn't want to share it. I did not want to, I couldn't share it. Life has a way, and grief has a way of placing you in darkness, in isolation. I was at the bottom, and I couldn't find it, and I kept on going down and down and down. It was tough. It was hard. But let me just tell you something. The nucleus that surrounded me, it loved on me. My wife of 32 years stood by me, sometimes not saying a mumbling word, but just standing there. That's what I needed. I needed her to be able just to be there sometimes and just fill up the space, to be the helpmate. And she was. And through that, I began to piece some words together. But I remember one Saturday morning, I was sitting in a circle, and there were some men that were sitting around me that were sharing their stories of loss. They had lost wives, they had lost children, they had lost parents, siblings, brothers, you name it, they had lost everything. But through their stories of resilience, I heard something different. I heard something different. I heard that they were a lot more like me. I was a lot like them. I wasn't special. I wasn't unique. It was just my turn. And let me just say something. Grief is something we all will have to walk through. It was just my turn. right? But through that loss, I found out something. I found out something that I could give to other people that were going through the grief process like me, like the men in that circle had given to me. You see, sometimes the most valuable gift that you can give somebody costs you zero, nothing. It's just your story. It's your voice. This loss was preparing me for something a little bit deeper, to feel more deeply, and to act when others are hurting. Hurricane Katrina hits New Orleans in 2005. Some of you remember that storm. Not an ordinary storm, but a very, very difficult storm. I didn't live there, but I had family ties that, if I could tell you, connected me so deep to the roots in that area. I had family and friends that were also from that area, from school, that were living in New Orleans. It was tough. But because now I understood something through the loss that I had previously before, that there was something that I was going to be able to deal with. I understood what it means when people are hurting and they think they've lost the world and they don't have that ability to connect to somebody that they love. That's real. That's pain. But like so many others around the country at that time, I was stuck to the TV, watching it, trying to figure out, is this real or is this fake? Watching the news of devastation hitting New Orleans, trying to understand what was going to happen. People were evacuating. You probably know some people were evacuating, leaving that area, going to other parts of the country. Atlanta happened to be one of them, Houston, Texas, all over the country, trying to get away from that place. This was not a different kind of storm. This was personal for me. And at that time, I kept on asking myself, what could I do? What could I do? And a voice just kept on coming back to me saying, David, find a way to serve, man. Find a way to serve. Find a way to connect people together. And at that time, at Sprint, there were some demo devices that we had in a lab over there that were used by us to go out to customer sites to demo the latest features, to sometimes allow customers to use the loaner devices. So I had this crazy idea. If I could take those devices and somehow connect them with the people that needed them, then maybe I was answering the call to serve. I took that idea to my boss and said, hey, it's a little bit different, but I think it's an inspired thought, an idea. I think we can do something to help somebody less fortunate right now. If you give me access to these devices, I promise you I'm going to do something good with them. I got the green light to get the devices. The very, very first group that I went to share this news about what we were able to do, and I think, Linda, you may have been there as well, was the Ben ERG. Thank goodness for the Ben, right? The voice that used to stutter and not be able to say a word was now talking to people about giving them inspiration and hope that we could do something together to make somebody's life just a little bit better. We answered the call. We created processes to take those devices and we took them to Red Cross shelters across the city of Atlanta, providing them once again the chance to be able to connect to somebody, to say, I'm okay, I made it, we're okay. It worked. Dozens of Ben members did it. We made it happen. Those residents could not believe that we had taken of our time to give to them, to give to somebody that we had no idea who they were. The city of Atlanta, the officials there, the Red Cross, they appreciated our efforts and thanked us. Let me tell you something. What we found out through that process is that we were doing service. We were doing service in a way that Dr. King has talked about. Dr. King has said everybody has the ability to be great because everybody can serve. We were serving. We were doing the things that we needed to do. And we also found out that we didn't have to have a title. I didn't have one. Didn't have a business plan to go off and present to the board, right? What we did have was just the ability to serve. And through that, we also began to understand that connection to other people isn't a luxury that we sometimes take for granted. Connection is humanity. We also began to understand that purpose does not stop where you start. It actually has a chance to grow if you put a little bit of water on it. It can grow. So what I was doing at the office, I was able to take to my church, Zion Hill Baptist Church, and I was asked to lead an initiative to provide housing, to provide utilities, and to provide food for families that had been displaced by the storm. Once again, we had another opportunity to serve. It's always around us, always around us. And then we also found out once again that purpose doesn't always show up at once. It doesn't pop open like that. Purpose starts when you start to move. When you start walking in your passion, things begin to open up. I'm just telling you, things open up like this, and you start seeing things clearly that you had never seen before in your life. And you're able to do things that people said could not be done, but because you're walking in purpose and you're walking in faith, you're doing great things, because that can happen. And so now I see it clearly in my life. I'm telling you, it's real clear that every defining moment in my life started in the exact same way. Somebody saw a need and chose to act. My mother built the first bridge for me. Morehouse strengthened that bridge. Loss allowed me to feel something deeper than I'd ever felt in my life, empathy towards others, and to be a bit more tenderhearted. Purpose through Katrina allowed me to see where bridges need to be built, and they need to be built, let me tell you. And what I found out through this whole process is that here's the deal. Bridges don't build themselves. They are built by everyday, ordinary people just like you. I see you, my man, just like you. In the back, I see you too, and just like me, that see a need and choose to act. Because the bridge that is out there is up for us to be able to do. So the next time that you see somebody that you can help, please act, just please. The next time you feel that nudge or that pull on the inside to get engaged, lean in. Because the bridge that you build for somebody else just may be the thing that carries them forward and changes both of your lives forever. Listen, I'm about to close. But what I want you to do for me, if you can, repeat after me. Just say, build the bridges. Connect the bridges. Cross the bridges. And let me say this, that if you are doing that, there's something that happens, because when you cross that bridge, you are making you and yourself closer to others, and you allow others to become closer to you. That's important. That's how we do the shared community, right? It's one beam, it's one brick at a time, but it's one conversation at a time. It's one engagement at a time. That's how we do this thing together. That's what we do. And Casey, you said something to me the other day, and I said this before some time ago. There's enough to go around for everybody. There's a whole lot in this world and in this universe for everybody. The sun is big enough to shine on each and every one of us and still have more to go. But that's what we want to do, this shared community. And if we do it the right way, I just got a feeling, I got a good feeling about this one, that we as T-Mobile can do it together as one team together. Thank you.